there, magandang people. This is your local host, Mr. Nacho. I'm back again with a new smashing vlog about one of the breakthrough teleserye of Miss Judy and Santos. It's simply called Clara. Before watching this video, please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, because finally I want to give you, when you do that, lots of great videos like this, where I talk about lots of amazing topics like this. And yeah, I want to endorse you to the max with these topics. So here starts the vlog now. Actually, it's the breakthrough hit series of Judy and Santos. And yeah, when you look at the first episode, wow, my goodness, so young. What a very small child she was. Okay, that aside. This series is amazing for a crazy record of episodes. For a Pinoy series that has 1,137 episodes, my goodness. So what happened? Jeepney TV has finally uploaded in the summer of 2022 this series, and as of now we have here late Julio 2024 in this filming, and the series is still not finished on Jeepney TV. In fact, we are still waiting for around over 300 episodes until finally it will conclude. Yeah, but let that be aside. We must come now back to the topic. Basically, what we have here is the story of two misplaced Sangol babies, basically, and who are growing up in different familias. Basically, you got Judy and Santos as a baby who is actually supposed to be the baby of a very wealthy family, but she is switched to a rather poor family. And then you got on the other side Clara, that is the Sangol, played by Miss Gladys Reyes. She is switched to a rich family, but actually she belongs into a rather poor family. So this already makes a very good start for this series. Lots of interesting tensions in this series, lots of great performances. Basically, you cannot go wrong with this series. There's always something great going on in the series, always some great drama, something like this. And the actors are extremely great in this series as well. You have here the late Mr. Tonko, who is actually a powerful actor. The role of Gary was so powerful, I heard, that they could not even replace him. Yes, they replaced him for Mara Clara the movie, but for the series they chose not to replace him because he was just too powerful. How can you replace somebody who is such a great actor like that, you know? And that alone, yeah, his scheming, his interesting, his dirty businesses and stuff like that, always interesting to watch, but also sometimes hard to watch how terribly he mistreated Mara. That, of course, those were the times when you did not like the character Gary at all, when he was taking it out to the max on his familia. And he was not only taking it out on Mara, he was taking it out on his wife, Susan, played by Susan Africa, as well. And those were hard scenes, but what can I say? I like some good drama. So if you like some good drama, you cannot go wrong with this great series. And yeah, talking about Susan Africa, what an amazing actress. She plays actually almost every facet of emotional torment, something like that. Basically, lots of emotion she portrays here in this series, and she's doing it so perfectly. Like something like when she's happy, she is going totally outgoing. When she is sometimes had some kind of mental problems, she became so scary. I wanted to hide in my flat. So scary she was, basically. And great actress, Miss Susan Africa. You should give her all the credit that you can. And maybe not, some people don't know it of you, but here I remind you, she's also there. Miss Susan Africa is also there at currently on GPTV on the great series San Commander. So please watch that series. If you have not watched it yet, you can't go wrong with that. That aside, you got also here some other great characters. Here's something like Alvira. Is Alvira? Yeah, I think Alvira. The Almira. Now I got it. Almira is the name. See, we foreigners can sometimes make mistake. It's Almira. Is actually the real Nana of Judy and Santos' character, but she has no clue that actually Clara, played by Miss Gladys Reyes, she believes that that is her daughter, and her Asaba is played by Mr. Juan Rodrigo, which, by the way, is also which is interesting formation, because Mr. Juan Rodrigo is actually the Asaba of Susan Africa in San Commander. Only that as a side effect. So very funny. And there was a little time in Mara Clara where there was some kind where it was revealed that somehow Juan Rodrigo's character, before he chose on Almira, was actually considering Susan to maybe become his girlfriend. That was really also shown in this series. So interesting, yeah. Things are going on in this area, and actually you can never go wrong with such tensions like that. There's always something going on. What is one of the interesting things is comes to mind is when Gary was kidnapping his own daughter Mara. That was also crazy, and she had no clue that she was kidnapped. And then one of his henchmen, I think it is Waldo, somehow Mara was able to put away his mask. So Mara instantly said, "Huh? Waldo, you are my kidnapper?" And then she could count one and one together and know that her own Tatai was basically her kidnapper. That was also an interesting storyline, where you also think to yourself, oh my goodness, what has Mara to go through? But of course there are similarities between Mara's character and the next great series of Judy and Santos called Esperanza, because Mara basically is a Batang Babai who takes a lot of, what you call this, bullshit. She's almost like a punching ball. There were times when Susan, her adoptive mother, treated her terribly. There were most of the time Gary treated her terribly. Then you even had Clara treat her terribly. So lots of people treated her terribly, but she never gave up, and that is the PowerPoint of Miss Judy and Santos' portrayal of Mara. She never gives up. She never lost hope, and that is all that was matters, ladies and gentlemen. So you must never give up, never lose hope. And actually, to talk completely about this teleserie, maybe that would be 20 hours or so. This is a little bit too long to go into all the details of the series, but the high points that I also remember is basically what was another high point is that is right now going on GPTV. If you would go to GPTV, Gary and his friends are planning now to do some kind of illegal drug dealing or some kind of drug deals, and the police is always on their back, but somehow they were swear they could not be caught because they've been cheated by the Japanese employer of their Japanese friend right now. So in some ways it was good that they've been cheated, because the police already caught them, but when they opened their bag, then they found out that this was only paper money, only paper shreds instead of money inside that bag. And yeah, also interesting storyline. And actually I don't know what is the future, so I'm still waiting on the last 330 episodes of the show. But what already has happened around episode 730, 740, 750, if I remember correctly, those were the episodes. Then finally Mr. Wowie de Guzman came on board. And yeah, that's also interesting to see how basically Clara and Mara are fighting for their affections. But it's more, Clara fights more, tries to manipulate even her own Nana to get the affection of that guy. But it's very obvious that Wowie feels more for Mara. But somehow very interesting also to see that when once they want to have a secret meeting, then Clara was always on the run to find them, and was obviously very stressful for them to have their secret meeting. Yeah, it was also interesting is in the secret meeting, it was actually not so secret. Juan Rodrigo as Papa Amante, basically he said, you Mara, you should go out with Wowie. You should definitely do it. Christian's his character, by the way. But then at the same time, Almira, his wife, who wanted to fight for Clara, basically said to her, no, you must not go out with that guy. Leave him alone, something like this. So that was very interesting to see. Yeah, actually, there's always something interesting going on here. I think was it around episode 500 or so? I think so. 500, 510 or so. That was what was very interesting. That for the majority of the early time, maybe until episode 500 or so, Mara and Clara were rather kept separated from each other. And you always think to yourself, well, but we want to see interactions between Mara and Clara. What happened? It was mostly only shown both in their own worlds of place. Only very rarely there was some kind of meeting between them. And of course, Clara always looked down on Mara. She was something like a phone or something like that. Yeah, one of the earliest meetings maybe was when at that time Miss Almira was actually more for Mara and let her wear some kind of old dress or so, and then Clara was totally Galletto, ripped off even the jewelry from her. Yeah, those were the times. Yeah, but of course, Miss Gladys Reyes, she's a great contrabida, and she's doing this really well. And yeah, another interesting part to flashback now. That's what I forgot. What I forgot to say is then starting in 500, episode 500, finally Mara was moving in to the house of Clara, even though Clara hated that. And then there was more interaction between Mara and Clara. And one of the most interesting scenes is basically where they have some kind of verbal fight, and then basically Clara is slapping Mara. Oh no, was it other thing? No. I've forgotten the order basically. Let's try to remember this at one time. But what I remember is clearly there's a fight between them, and in this fight basically Clara is challenging Mara to hit her, to give her some kind of hit in the face, some slap. And I think now I got it. At first it is basically Clara who hits Mara, but then, if I remember correctly, she hits another time, but then Mara is holding her hand, totally surprisingly, and then she with full force Mara is hitting Clara. So a very interesting scene. But of course, Clara instantly tells this to Miss Almira, who instantly will protect, of course, her daughter. Yeah, these are very interesting scenes in this great show, but my goodness, how long do I talk here about this? Maybe we can do another vlog. One thing that I can clearly say, another vlog about this topic, because it's such a long show. Wow, 1,137 episodes, my goodness. Basically, it's not even finished, that show. Right now we're waiting for the continuation. But the best aspects basically is what came out of the show. Basically, you had there, these personal things that were behind the scenes. Those were also very interesting. You had here the real love story between Wowie and Miss Judy and Santos going on there on the set, and at the same time, obviously, the real love story between Miss Gladys Reyes and Christian. My goodness, I've forgotten his name. You know her, Asava. They're still together, and yeah, that is also something very interesting. That shows obviously that, wow, this series was not only something like a real establishing point for both actresses, but also lots of stuff happened in their personal life. So basically shows us that was a very important point. And then when you also know that they became real friends, Miss Gladys and Miss Judy, and they're still good friends till this day, then you must say this must be a very special show. And when you have ever seen or heard any interview that Miss Judy gave on this series, it is highly important to her. So I don't know what happens in the last 350 episodes, but what already happened in the first 800 episodes was so good enough. You can call the show definitely an all-time classic. So with this, I want to leave you now. Please don't forget to subscribe, and I will be back with more content like this, because I want to endorse you very much and give you the best of the Pinoy series that I can give to you. So, see you soon in the next vlog. Bye bye! Yeah!